Hey, it's Dan. How are you? I'm here with Jamila again. We want to do a follow-up video about, what was it, a month ago? 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, about 3 weeks ago.
About 3 weeks ago, we made a video talking about, what was the title of the video?
The title of the video was Girl Goes Back to Nature, something
Yeah.
like that.
And from concrete to soil.
Concrete to soil.
Yeah.
Exactly.
City girl returns to nature.
That's it.
Anyways, we were raising some money so that Jamila could go on and film a documentary. Mm-hmm. And so we have some good news.
We do have good news.
Now, you didn't quite reach your goal.
Not quite. We got a little under half.
Okay.
We got a little under half, which is
Thank you,
fantastic.
everybody.
Thank you so much. My heart, literally, I think about it and tears begin to flow because it just, the love, you know, it's more so about the love that came with the donation, that came with the contribution, and so many positive words, so many prayers, so many just messages. And
you don't have a lot of support in your personal life.
Exactly. Not regarding this, you know what I mean? And sometimes when you go on a new path, and everyone that you know and everyone that knows the old you don't necessarily get it, you know, and they're not there with you. And so with you all being there and Dan, and it was like that support system that I really needed, you know, to say that we believe in you. And that alone was, thank you.
I know what you mean so much about, and I just feel like compelled to talk about this, that when you go from living one way, and it takes a long time to like regain trust, or for your family or people that know you to take you seriously.
Right, exactly.
Like they think, oh, a year into it, 2 years into it. For me, it was like raw foods being an example, or sobriety, or anything. You know, it's like, oh yeah, okay, we'll see. You'll go. And well, sure, Dan. You know, that's the attitude they have for quite some time to come.
Exactly.
Until they see that, wow, like 10 years later, you're actually serious about this, and you're actually helping a lot of people, and you're like sticking with it, and you're sober, and it's like, okay.
Right.
So that's a thing in life.
Right, exactly.
They know you because they changed your crappy diapers, and they have seen you in your weakness, and it's hard for them to get that picture out when you've recommitted to something better.
Right, and they've seen that kid you, and so it's just like okay, you're getting into something else, and they don't really know. And it's okay, and we accept that, and we have no choice, but and I think I may have mentioned this last time, to find like-minded individuals and a support system of people saying, we see what you're doing, we feel your heart, and we're saying yes to this, we're supporting this, whatever way, you know, you were able to do it, and however much you were able to contribute. If you were able to contribute, you know, $3 to say that, I want to support this.
Tell us the story about the $3.
It was great. A young lady, it was funny because I had the message would pop up on my phone that I had a new contribution, and I got a contribution for $3, which was great. I was, you know, anytime I would get the message, I would send up thanks and say a prayer for that individual who contributed. And so then I got a YouTube message saying, hi, Jamila, I just wanted to let you know that I contributed $3 to your project. I feel so bad that I only gave $3, but it was the last $3 that I had. It was the last $3 in my account, and I wanted to send you this message because I didn't want you to think that that's what I thought your project was worth. I didn't want you to think that I believed that your project was that I believed your project was worth $3. So I'm sending you this message to let you know that the only reason I gave you $3 was because that's literally the last that I had. And this woman who has her son and is giving me her last $3. And it was such a blessing, and I had to send her a message back letting her know that this is the greatest contribution I've gotten because so much heart was behind it. And I needed that. I needed that message right at that exact day. When I tell you at that moment I needed that message, at that moment I was wavering. At that moment I was saying, how am I going to do this? And who am I to do this? And at that moment to know that this documentary is not for Jamila. You know, this is not for me. This is for the individuals that it's going to touch. And I have to send her a message back letting her know that I'm going to shout this message from the rooftops for her and for her son and for everyone else who needs it. But it was awesome.
We have success because we raised enough for
a plane ticket and a camera. We raised $22.77, and literally the ticket is $1,700. So we have enough for a plane ticket, and we have enough for the camera that we want, which is the key. We're looking at, we have a few different options, but the one that we're wanting, or that we're pretty sure that we want, we're going to be able to afford. The crew and I and everyone have kind of went back and forth, and we're all just looking to see what's the best equipment to get. And because of you all and your contributions, we're able to get the one that we want.
Okay.
So that's awesome.
And so the project is a go.
Yay!
So thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. We did it.
And so you're leaving
June 10th. So we're flying into Rome June 10th. Right now we're kind of at this crazy point because we're going to 3 farms. And we have our first farm set, but we have like our last 2 farms kind of fighting over us a little bit, right? Like we have 4, but they're like, no, okay, we want you to come on these days, and we want you to come this, and we're like, we don't know which one to go to. So it's so amazing where you have people like fighting so that you could come
to
and
to
come
to
and
their
feel
place.
there, and exactly,
Yeah.
and it's the love that's coming, but the knowledge and the information that they have and that they're willing to give. They want to give it. That's their passion in life. And
on your documentary.
On this documentary that's going to serve so many. You know, they have something that they want to say. They want you to see their land. And they want you to see how they grow their food and how they're passionate about it and how they love it. You know, how they put so much love into it, just like you put so much love into your garden. It's amazing, and it's beautiful, and we're excited. Everyone is excited.
Cool. So
Yeah.
we got the ticket, we
Right.
got the camera, we got the crew all ready to go, we got the
Everyone's
farms lined up.
We've got the farms lined up. All the crew has their plane tickets taken care of, so that's all set. We weren't sure for a minute. Everyone has their plane tickets. I have my ticket. The camera is ready. So literally we're just, working on the other part of the, kind of pulling things together for the rest of the funding, because of course we have to, after we get the footage, we have to be able to piece it together, which takes editing. We have to be able to, get it onto the DVDs and all of that. So that is what that's what we're, looking to align and just get it all working together. But
it all works. It
out. Comes together, and it's going to come together.
Faith.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, this is good news, and then
is.
we're going to do some interviews with health practitioners, raw food.
So we have everyone from, Dan the man to someone who has a backyard garden. We have people who are, because the purpose is, you're going to follow this crazy fun girl with the big wild hair to Italy, and see what she learns. But then what do I do after that? So we're going to interview community gardens. We're going to interview people who are living in apartments who are growing food, so that you could see how that process works. So we really want you to take something away from this. And what we want you to take is that I can do this too. I can get good food into my body, however I work it out. Right now, Dan, I eat off $200 a month. And that's raw foodist. I'm down to the barest of the barest. That's what I have, but I know that raw food works. So I'm eating off $200 a month, still doing the raw food way. And there are things that you can do, but you have to have the knowledge. You have to know, So that's really, we're excited. We're pumped. This is going to be epic, as you would say.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So it's a go, and I want to just, I know we didn't even talk about this, but I would like to have people be able to continue to donate if they want to. Do you have a PayPal?
I do. I have a PayPal, and you can find it through my email. So if you go to PayPal, if you have a PayPal and you search my email, which is the same as my YouTube, Melia for Me, at AOL.com. So it's MELIA, the number 4, ME, at AOL.com. And whatever, if you still want to contribute, you can do it through PayPal that way.
Okay, so I will put a link down below this video to make it easy for everyone. Just in case there's anybody out there, there's good things going on the planet. One thing I've learned is that generosity opens up the floodgates to abundance. So when I have a chance to be abundant and share and be generous, like my favorite place to be generous right now is with my ex-wife, and you know, she asked me for money, and I'm just whereas before I wasn't quite like that. I really love it when I like those guys with the cardboard signs, because some people look at that as a negative thing. I was there once, so it's like I don't care what their circumstances are. It's an opportunity for me. I look at it as an opportunity to give. This isn't some swindling little underhanded talk I'm trying to give you. I'm just saying that's how I roll. Like, I am so glad to have $5, $10, $20 to be able to give.
Exactly.
And then it's like you are, once you get that in your head and you realize that giving and serving and generosity is the gift you give yourself. You're looking for opportunities. You know,
it truly is. You know, this is so funny. I was just talking about this with a friend, and this is really impromptu, but you know, someone had gave her a car 7 years ago. Didn't know her. College student gave her a car. And we were talking about how much that car had been a blessing to her. She's traveled around the country 4 times in this car. And then I thought, but how much of a blessing was it for the individual who gave you the car? I mean, think about it. When you give someone something, and not even just me, this is not about me, but when you're able to give, it's the biggest blessing. It's the biggest thing you can do. You know, it gives you so much. And I just have to sit there and think, I wonder how you know, what gift they received through being able to bless someone with the vehicle. You know, that.
You know what it is? It's like when you give, when you're generous, you're just telling the universe, I have.
Yeah.
And when you're holding and you're saving, you're telling the universe, I do not have.
Right. And when you tell the universe, I have, whatever you put out, that's what you get. So you get more because you have. But when you hold and you tell the universe, I don't have enough to give, then you don't have enough. So
we sound like we're trying to get our pocketbook filled up.
I know.
Dear Jesus,
right.
Let
you know, fill it up. But that's really, and that's the kind of life. This is funny because that's what I want this documentary to be about. You know what I mean? That's the kind of life that I want to live, to inspire others to live that way. You want to live abundantly. You, as far as I know, only get one life. Why not live it to the fullest? Why not have your cup overflowing? You know, and that's the thing you want. You want to get to the point where you're giving, but you're giving from the overflow. So if you have a saucer and say you're pouring in green juice and it starts to spill over, you still have that full teacup. You're giving from the juice on the saucer, if that makes sense. You know,
the overflow.
The overflow. And you want to live a life that is, you're constantly in an overflow. You're constantly in your finances, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, in your health. You're physically, you're in an overflow. You know, and I feel like that's it. You know what I mean? That's
when you're tapped in to what I call the big self.
Right,
you know, and the little self isn't trying to figure out all the little details, but you're just so alive in the moment that everything is handled. It's hard to explain, but
it is hard to explain.
I've noticed it. Like, you read about it for years, you begin to practice it. These principles and qualities begin to really manifest in your life, and then pretty soon you're like, this is real.
Yeah.
The more generous I am, it just seems to flow to me. Mm-hmm. And there's some magic there. It takes a little bit of work, but
and it can get big and it can get complicated, you know, and it can get like, what? But just remember this. You're an individual who's living on this planet, and you want to live a happy, fulfilled, abundant life. That's it. You know what I mean? If you look at that, like, I want to live a joyful, peaceful, happy life. Whatever that is for you. You may not understand all the big words. You may not get that. But you know what you want. In your inner being, you know what it is that you want. You want to let that light shine. You want to let that out. If you got that, then everything else is going to come to you. You know what I mean? Everything else is going to begin to become clear, if that makes sense.
Shine your light.
Yeah.
Start today. It just gets better and better. I can tell you that. If there's one thing I can tell you for sure,
honor.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you that if you start today to shine your light, the light gets brighter and brighter and brighter, and life gets better and better and better. And Don't let Satan blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Sunday school, baby. We just did some school. Anyways, there was no real reason to this. We met the goal. This wasn't to raise more money or anything. This was just something that I rarely get to do, which is follow-up videos. It's just my life. You know, I'm so busy, but you came to the women's circle, follow up. It's like a little bit more high-class Liferegenerator video here, just follow up. And so it's telling stories, you know?
Right.
So thanks for joining us. Anything else?
Thank you. And I just wanted to say thank you. I mean, you know, so many of you reached out to me and contributing, and I just really, I look at this opportunity as a chance to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Not just for me, but for the individuals that the documentary is going to touch, for the individuals that are going to become inspired, the individuals that are going to learn knowledge that's going to be able to potentially save a life. Thank you for that, you know. Thank you. Sometimes it's hard to know what the outcome. And so I'm letting you know now, thank you, because I know that the outcome is going to be great. And you're a part of that, so thank you. And thank you, Dan. Thank you.
You never know. You never know whose life you're going to save. I've heard a lot of weird stories about crazy stuff, and you just think, I'm just putting these videos out because it's fun for me and I have to make a living. But then you get the feedback stories, and you're like, wow, man, like you were going to kill yourself. And you found one of my videos, and you are now alive, and you're like, okay, let's keep making videos. You know? I'm not perfect, but I guess I'm good enough, because one person is still alive today because of these videos.
And if you help to save that one person, it's all worth it. You know,
any amount of effort.
Everything, it's all worth it for that one person, because that's what we're here for, is to serve.
So the brighter that you shine by allowing your gifts to come through in that pure way, then that's how many people you're going to affect. You know, because the brighter the brighter the flashlight, the more the path gets illuminated.
Exactly.
You know? Right on.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We love you. Subscribe to these videos and check out the links down below, especially the one on the top for Jamila's project, if you want to donate some more so she can buy some tomatoes and olive oil in Italy. And
that'd be great.
Have a nice snack.
Have a nice snack out there. It'd be great to, be able to eat.
We appreciate you a lot.
Thank you guys so much.
Goodbye.